Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Uh, Today's class is going to be about blocking in and warming up because warming up is one of the most important things you can do as an artist. And I think that uh, we're going to do some fun brush techniques using a really basic brush. And I'm going to show you the brush right now. It is, okay, move out of the way slightly. It is a circle brush that has nothing turned on in the dynamics other than pen pressure, and it's literally pen pressure minimum 0 for the opacity. So it's just like a dark brush that if you press hard it goes all the way dark, but if you press lightly there's like no pen pressure for the size or anything like that, just for how opaque it is. And that's what we're going to use today to do a self-portrait. But we're going to do a fun self-portrait. We're going to do ourselves as a baby. I was a very cute baby. I don't know what happened. That's okay. And I have some shortcuts up here. We have Alt right click, which is the size. So you can very quickly change the size of your brush. And that's why we don't need the pen pressure turned on for the size, because we're very easily able to change the size of the brush using Alt and right click. And we don't need this guy up here. He's here for posterity. We have Shift Alt right click, and we have this great hue wheel that comes up. And we can very easily change to the color that we need very quickly. So the shortcuts that we're using, let's just dive in. Let's make a new layer. We're going to call this a sketch layer. And we'll start sketching. Now, I almost did something with the background layer. Ignore that. We're going to actually change the background to be filled with sort of a blue-gray, just like the blue-gray here in the reference. Oh, there we go. There's a quick way of doing that, but we don't need to do that right now. And the reason we're doing just a study, like a warm-up, is exactly that. We're studying. We're trying to warm up, because warming up before you work out, you get hurt. Warming up before you do your main art, you get hurt, but it's psychological. But what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get the basic shape down of my face, my very cute baby face. And I'm just pressing very lightly on the Cintiq or whatever screen tablet you have. You don't need a screen tablet, by the way. You can use a graphics tablet, the ones without the screen. I would recommend using a tablet. However, you can even use this on your iPad. But the pen pressure sensitivities are all very different. So you have to get used to the tablet that you're using. So we just want to make sure that when we're blocking in, we're trying to get the shape, the silhouette pretty much down. And like, it doesn't have to be perfect, because the nice thing about digital painting is that you can call it quits, redo it. You can erase, you can undo. And now we're going to make a color layer. But we're going to call it blocking. Color layer blocking. We're going to pick a color that is fairly close to my skin tone and just block the whole thing in. Just the whole thing. We're going to use full opacity. We're going to press as hard as we can with our tablet pen. And I have my tablet pen set to have a very soft tip. You can set that in your drivers. Basically, it means that it's a little bit more sensitive to you pressing down, so you don't have to press as hard and hurt your tablet. And now this isn't totally accurate. You can butt it up right against your reference and be like, that's not right. But the nice thing about digital painting is that you can just paint over it. So I didn't do the face first because I wanted to get the silhouette in. Now I'm going to start blocking in my face, my beautiful kisser. And I'm not going to go serious. We're not going to go sicko mode with the detail yet. We're just going to block it in. And you're like, that doesn't look right. That's okay. You can just erase and try and match up the measurements. And that's why I have the reference sort of big on the side here. So we can make your drawing the same size and see where you've gone wrong. Now I'm going to group these. You can't see, but I grouped them. And I'm going to duplicate it, hide the first one, and then Control E, merge them all into one. So now it's all one layer. And the reason I did that is because when you're sketching, it's much easier to work on one layer. When you're warming up, it's not good practice for concept art. You should have separate layers. However, for a study, for stuff like that, for warming up, it's fine to have one layer. It's not going to hurt you. It's just for you. So here, I'm just trying to pick colors that are... trying to pick colors that make sense. And sort of help me block in the shapes of a baby face. So I notice that this is a little bit more yellow. So I'm bringing in some yellows here. But this is a little bit more orange, and that's because of the way shadows work. There's often a much more saturated line right along the edge of a shadow, especially on organic objects, but on everything. So we're just trying to block in the different planes of the face. And babies, I find to be a little bit difficult, so that's part of the reason I chose a baby. Because babies are like, they're gooey and amorphous, and the planes of the face are a lot less easily detected. But that's why we're doing this. We're trying to understand how baby faces are made. So when we design a baby for a video game or any other media project, we'll have a glossary of how babies work. I don't think my ears grew at all from this picture. I think they're the same size. And we're just blocking the shadows. We're not even being super accurate with the colors yet, because we can fix the colors later. That's the nice thing about digital painting, is that you don't have to be super accurate with your colors right away because you can just paint over it later. But it is nice to try and get them pretty close up front. Now, this is just a blocking, right? It's not perfect. But the important thing, I have to smack the tablet about this. The important thing is that you get your blocking pretty close. Because if you're working with a blocking that is not close, then you're going to have a really rocky foundation. However, you don't have to be perfect in a study. That's the nice thing, is that when you're studying, all you're doing is learning. You're not trying to be perfect. You're not performing. Uh, when I do the whites of the eyes, I try and color pick the skin tone and then go really white and light with this from the skin tone, so it matches the matches the skin tone of the character a little bit better. Or in this case, baby me. That's just a fun tip for you. That's free. So when it comes to eyelids, I notice that there's a lot of people that really don't want to draw the lower lid. Um, Unfortunately, you have to. It is necessary to all creation that you draw the lower lid. Um, because, to be honest, even on babies, they have a lower lid. A lot of people will say, "Oh, well, now they look too old. They don't look right." Uh, they will look less right without a lower lid. Now you see how this is coming together, and it's just a blocking, and it's just using a plain circle brush. And the reason we use just a plain circle brush is because, oopsie, it's so easy to get lost in the weeds of detail when you're using a brush that can go really small. And like I'm trying desperately not to go really small really quickly. Originally I was going to introduce some green in here because there's a little bit of green in here, but I'm just going to do like local colors. And when you want something a little bit softer, especially in Photoshop, you can just color pick the edge of a really light stroke and it will help you make a gradient. And I don't know what kind of smile I'm making here, but it's cute. I'm just going to block in the whole mouth. Oopsie. And then block in the lips. We can block in the shadows of the mouth too, because I think that'll help us. And some, oops, I go again, skin color adjacent. And that's how I'll pick the color for the teeth. And yeah, I mean, now we're cooking with gas. We're getting close to making a baby. Now, there's something missing, and you don't have to include it yet, but I like putting in the shine of the eyes so it looks a little bit more alive. Oh, I'm fussing here, and I shouldn't be. But I'm just trying to make the mouth the right shape, but it's also an atypical shape for a mouth because we're so used to mouths being certain shapes, especially when you come from learning specific schema for drawing. But like the main detail here, especially in this, is the tooth separated from the other teeth. So if you get that right, I think if you get like certain details about the mouth right, then you will be cooking with gas. I think the pupils are a little bit bigger because when babies are little, yeah, that's better. When babies are little, your eye doesn't grow. Your eye stays the same size no matter what age you are. So when you're a baby, you have humongous eyes. And I actually have a little bit more hair up here. Good for me. And we can draw the flyaways. Um, and adding in those details is really going to push your study uh, a little bit further. Oopsie. Now we can start adding highlights. Not a ton, because babies aren't particularly shiny. Babies haven't been cursed with the problem of greasy skin yet, generally. Yeah. I mean, come on. That's pretty good for what, 20 minutes? And the purpose of this exercise was not to make the perfect study of yourself as a baby, it was to learn and understand different face shapes, different planes of the face. Oopsie. Ways to mix color, Photoshop brush techniques using your favorite circle brush. And actually, I noticed something here. This is actually quite soft. So I'm actually going to turn the hardness all the way down by right clicking, opening up hardness, oopsie, and just turning it all the way down to 0. And then we can get like the really soft edges here. You can turn it back up or turn it to any level of hardness that you want. And yeah, that's pretty Gucci. And that's how you make a baby. I'm joking. That's how you block in a painting very quickly by using quick shortcuts like the alt right click and alt shift right click and using just one brush. And the point of this exercise was not to be perfect, it was to study and learn different planes of the face, different face shapes, and how to quickly pick color based off of looking only. So thank you for joining us today. I hope you had a good time. I did too. Peace out.